This is Mr. Prevent, and today I welcome you on board. The channel is called Mr. Prevent. Mr. Prevent on all platforms. Go to Facebook, you get Mr. Prevent. YouTube, Mr. Prevent. TikTok, Mr. Prevent. So today, I welcome you to understand something very, very important. Something that is very critical, something that is very, very important. And this is it. Before you change your health, understand your story. That is the topic of the day. Before you change your health, understand your story. Let me ask you something. When was the last time you stopped and asked yourself something like, what was happening in my life before my health started changing? Not just, what did I eat? How much did I exercise? What medication did I or am I taking? But what was happening in my life? What was happening at home? What was happening at work? How was I sleeping? What relationships was I experiencing? And what habits were gradually becoming normal? Because sometimes we know our diagnosis, but we don't know our story. I want you to imagine something here. Joshua walks into a hospital. The machines and doctors find his blood pressure reading, maybe to be somewhere around 180 over 110. Then do what they are trained to do. They start doing what they are trained to do. They start assessing him. They do all the tests. They start the treatments. And that medical care is very, very important for sure. But imagine if after all that, someone asked Joshua a different question. What can you remember was happening in your life before your blood pressure started changing? Imagine that question comes. Immediately, Joshua gets the results. Somebody gets to him and asks, Joshua, can you remember what was happening in your life before your blood pressure started changing? And immediately, Joshua starts recalling something. I had been under enormous pressure at work. I stopped exercising. I wasn't sleeping properly. Maybe I started eating differently. My relationships at home became very stressful. I was carrying responsibilities I never talked about. I'm not saying that one of those things caused Joshua's condition. That's not what I'm really saying. I'm saying that there is always more to a person's health story than just a diagnosis. Now, talking of health story, we should understand that every health problem can have two important stories. Every health problem can have two important stories. Number one, the medical story. This might include the medical story of a person, might include the diagnosis. Joshua had the diagnosis, the blood pressure reading, the blood sugar reading, the cholesterol reading, the tests, the medication, the medical history. All these are the medical story. Number two, and this according to me is the most important, the human story. As a coach, I'll tell you the human story might be the most important thing here. This might include things like the stress, the relationships, the sleep, the habits, the environment, daily routine, the emotional experiences, the major changes that happened in your life. And sometimes when we only look at the medical story, we may miss important parts of the human story. Your doctor has an important role to that. Your healthcare professionals have an important role. And as a coach, my role is quite different. As a coach, I come into your life with a totally or a quite different role. I help you investigate the lifestyle and life patterns surrounding your health. I help you investigate the lifestyle and the life patterns surrounding your health. Think about your health like, I want you to think about your health like a book. Your diagnosis is one page. Maybe say it is page 247. Now imagine someone gives you a book and opens page 247 and says, this is your entire story, or this is the entire story of the book. Would that really make sense? Of course not. Of course not. That won't make sense, because you would want to know more. You would want to know what happened in chapter 1. What changed in chapter 5, or what changed after chapter 1? You would want to know what happened before the turning point. There is always that turning point. What habits developed? You'd want to know more. You'd want to know what relationships changed. You'd want to know what pressure appeared. You'd want to know what did you start doing differently? You'd want to know these things. What did I start doing differently? You'd want to know how did you arrive at this chapter of your life? How did I arrive at this chapter? So if I may ask you, have you ever looked at your health journey as a timeline? Not blaming the past. Not proving that one event caused your disease or your condition. Because you cannot change what you have never taken time to understand. You will never change what you have never taken time to understand. So let me ask you something. Take a moment and think. When did you first notice that your health was getting to a point when it is becoming different? Was it recently? Or can you remember something changing years before? Can you remember something changing years before? Maybe your eating changed. Maybe your work changed. Maybe your sleep habits changed. Maybe you became less physically active. When was that? Can you take time and try to analyze, try to remember? Maybe you experienced a major loss. When did you experience that major loss? Can you remember? Maybe your responsibilities increased. When was this? When my responsibilities started increasing. Maybe your relationships, something changed in your relationships. Maybe your environment, your entire environment changed. Maybe you simply became accustomed to a lifestyle that you never stopped to question. Maybe a friend drove you into a lifestyle that you never stopped questioning. Now, ask yourself this question. What changed and when was that? Pause and ask yourself again. What happened after that change. Wow, what happened after that change? That second question is important because sometimes the things that affect our health aren't dramatic. The things that affect our health aren't dramatic. They are small things repeated over a long period of time. We call these things patterns. We call these things patterns. Think about water. I want you to think about the scenario of water. Water doesn't carve a valley because it passes once. Water will never carve a valley because it's only passed once. It changes the land because it passes repeatedly. Our habits can work in a similar way upon our health. One late night may not tell you much. One unhealthy meal may not tell you much. One stressful day may not tell you much. But have you ever stopped and asked yourself, what happens when the same patterns keeps repeating? Have you ever stopped and asked yourself, what happens when these same patterns keeps repeating? When I keep repeating bad meals, when I keep repeating poor nights, when I keep repeating dormancy. Have you ever asked yourself, when these patterns keeps repeating, what happens when stress keeps coming? When you always experience poor sleep, when you always have low energy, when you are less moving or you experience less movement, when your food choices become different, when you become more stressful, when this cycle continues. Have you ever asked yourself, what could happen? So instead of asking only, what is wrong with me? What is wrong with me? Try asking, what keeps repeating in my life? That's a very different question. When you ask, what keeps repeating in my life, is a totally different question. Why? Because it can lead to a very different conversation. This is one of the reasons I developed Discover coaching program. Discover is not about judging you. It is not about giving you a score and telling you that you are doing badly or you are doing well. Discover is about helping you understand yourself. This Discover coaching program is just here to help you understand yourself better, to help you observe these patterns better, to help you know where your health journey began. We begin by, creating safety so that you can tell your story, something that very few people ever experience. Most people usually fear talking about their conditions, but with Discover coaching program, we create an environment that is very safe for you so that you can tell your health story. Number two, we investigate your health journey step by step. We go backwards. We don't work forward. You see, most medications work forward. They are working on treating you. But with our coaching program, we work backwards, trying to investigate your journey, your health journey. We search for patterns. By working backwards, we search for patterns that keeps repeating, that keeps appearing, that keeps keeping you in that bad condition. We connect the dots between different areas of your life. We connect the dots. Where did you stop doing what? When was this? What happened? Explore what is within your control. What can you do immediately? And what can't you do that you are trying to do? We visualize where you want to go. 20 years from now, how will you be? 5 years from today, how will you be with such a condition, with such patterns, with such, living behaviors? Where will you be? How will your health be? What about your family? We establish one meaningful commitment. What can I do starting today so that my life starts getting on a new journey? We establish a meaningful commitment. Then finally, we reflect and learn from the journey. The purpose of this coaching, therefore, is simply to help you see, to help you understand, to help you connect, to help you on your own health, to help you act. Take the action now to help you discover what have I been going through, what have I been avoiding, what can I start doing? Because the goal isn't simply for me to tell you what to do. As a coach, my goal isn't just to tell you, do this. No. The goal is for you to begin discovering something about yourself. Under this Discover coaching program, our main goal is to help you begin discovering something about yourself. That's why we put each letter under coaching. DISCOVER, discover. So whether you are healthy or you are diagonised of a condition, I want you to do something very, very simple. Take a piece of paper and on the paper write my health story. Just write that. Take a piece of paper and on it just write my health story. Then draw a timeline. Draw a timeline all the way from childhood, teenage years, in your 20s, if you are already past 20s, in your 30s, if you are already past 30s, in your 40s, if you are already past 40s, in your 50s, if you are already past 50s, up to where you are today. You don't have to remember each and everything. Just ask yourself one simple question. What was happening in my life during my childhood, during my teenage, in my 20s, in my 30s, in my 50s? What was happening in my life? Then, number 2 question, ask yourself, what was happening with my health during that period? What was happening with my health? Then, next question you should ask is this. What habits changed? Sleep, nutrition, emotions, relationships, etc. What habits changed? Ask yourself that question. And then finally, what major events happened? What major events happened during my childhood? Maybe I was left by a parent. Maybe during childhood, my father and mother used to eat this kind of foods. Those are some of the major events that were happening. Then finally, ask yourself, where do I think my health story changed direction? Don't rush to answer this. Just investigate. Because sometimes the greatest thing we need to change first is not a behavior. It is our understanding. You may have spent years saying, I don't know why I keep doing this. Maybe it is time to investigate, because you may have spent years saying, my health suddenly changed in 20s. My health suddenly changed in 50s. My health suddenly changed in childhood. Maybe your story didn't actually begin suddenly. Maybe that's not where your story began. You may have spent years focusing only on diagnosis. When the doctor told you you have high blood pressure, now your focus went on that. You started spending years on that. Maybe it is just time to understand the person behind this thing called the diagnosis. It is time to start understanding this person behind this diagnosis. Your health story is bigger than one blood pressure reading. Your health story is bigger than weight, scale reading. Your health could be bigger than, some of those results from the laboratory. Your health could be bigger than that one terrifying symptom. And just remember that you are a whole person living a whole story. You are a whole person living a whole story. And that story is worth understanding. Don't allow somebody to open page 247 of your life and tell you now your blood pressure reading is this, and you start living on that. Take your time and start understanding the whole story around that reading. Where did it start? In my 20s, where was I? What was I doing? If this video made you stop and think about your own health story, I want you to do something very simple. Write this question down. What was happening in my life before my health started changing? And if you want help exploring that question, send me the word discover. I am Coach Malwa, a lifestyle disease coach, and my approach is very, very simple. Before you rush to change your health, first understand your story. Before you rush to change your health, first understand your story. DM the word discover, and I will see you in a coaching session. But if you don't DM the word discover, please see you in the next video. Coach Malwa is my name. Before you rush to change your health, first understand your story. Thank you very much.